G'day Gear Junkies, Jason here. We all know that Behringer make effects in what we would call the budget range. Now, I did a video a couple of years ago where I bought a whole stack of Behringer pedals and went through them, and I was pleasantly surprised with a fair few of them. And this got me to thinking, what would I put on an all Behringer pedalboard? Before I begin, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe, and you can support this channel by going to the Middle Aged Gear Junkie store and buying some merchandise. To celebrate hitting 10,000 subscribers recently, I've released some new t-shirt designs, including the 80s is a Way of Life t-shirt that I'm currently wearing. Just so you know, I have no affiliation with Behringer, and I bought all of these pedals with my own money. They were all secondhand, bar one of them, which I bought brand new. Now, going back to my original Behringer video, I was impressed with some of them, so I've used some of those pedals again, but I've also decided to take a bit of a gamble and get a hold of some that I've never tried before. I've chosen 6 pedals for this board. I'll quickly demonstrate what each of them sounds like on their own, and then I'll put them on a board and see what sounds we can get out of all of them together. So first up, in no particular order, I have the Blues Overdrive, and this is Behringer's version of the Boss BD2. But first, we need to hear the clean sound. Here's my clean sound. I'm playing through my Marshall DSL-40 on the clean channel. And as these are budget pedals, I'm going to use a mid-price guitar, which is the Ibanez S series I have here from the 90s. I can also use the Blues Overdrive for some single note parts. I'll just flick to the neck pickup. About a year ago, I did a video about the Ultra Vibrato here, comparing it to the pedal that it's based on, the Boss VB2. And I've got to say, I was really impressed with the Ultra Vibrato. Although the vibrato is very good at creating a bit of warble and movement in my sound, that's not actually why I chose it to be on my board. I'm going to use it for a very specific function, which I'll demonstrate a little bit later in this video. This next pedal really impressed me in that original Behringer video I did, which was the Ultra Chorus. Now, this is probably one of the best, if not the best budget chorus I've ever tried. It's based on the Boss CH1. That CH1 I think was a digital one, and I actually think the Behringer sounded better. For this video, I thought I'd take a bit of a gamble on the Tube amp modeler. Now, this is based on the Tech 21 SansAmp GT2, which I demoed a few years ago. Now, if you're not familiar with this pedal, it has high, low, drive, and level, like any drive pedal. But it's got these 3 switches down the bottom which can really alter the sound quite drastically. So first we have 3 different amp models. So we've got Tweed, which is based on a Fender Bassman style amplifier, British, which is based on a sort of hot-rodded Marshall, and Cali, which is based on a sort of hot-rodded Mesa style amplifier. Now, how I use this pedal will depend on what sort of rig I'm after. If I want a sort of classic rock bluesy sort of rig, what I would do is I would set this to the tweed setting, which is a sort of like a basement style amplifier. Then we've got whether you've got it on clean, dirty or hot. And lastly is the mic placement. So the original GT2 was a sort of amp in cab simulator, but it was analog, it wasn't digital. It was actually designed to go straight into a PA, but a lot of people found that they actually sound good going into an amplifier. The mic switch on the end is really interesting because it acts like a massive filter. Basically, you can have it in a neutral kind of setting, or you can have it in a mid-scoop setting or a mid-pushed setting. I find that the tweed amp setting on this is probably the most amp-like sound that this has. It's the most reactive to your picking dynamics. Cali sound is really thick and reminds me of 90s heavy alternative rock. The British setting is very hot-rodded Marshall, really 80s kind of territory. For delay, I've gone with the vintage delay. This is very popular because it's a really good analog delay circuit. It's based on the DM3. This is a very close relative of the DM2, basically a more refined version of the DM2. Lastly, I've gone with the Ultra Phase Shifter. Now, I only found out they made this pedal fairly recently. This is their version of the Boss PH2, which is my favorite phaser of all time. So I thought it was worth a gamble getting a hold of one of these and seeing if it was any good. I've hooked all of these pedals up onto a pedal board. Don't mind the cheap patch leads, they're the only ones I could find lying around. My signal chain is going to go vibrato first, then into my phaser, then from there it's going to go into the blues overdrive and then the tube amp modeler, and then ultra chorus and vintage delay to finish. I've got the tube modeler set on the tweed amp sound, so it sounds like this. It's got a lot of bottom end, so I'm going to actually boost it with the blues overdrive. Now, if you know anything about the BD2, it actually shelves a fair bit of bottom end and really helps to tighten your sound up. And I think it's going to work really well for this tone. And I think that'll work really well as a sort of classic rock rhythm tone. And you could probably use that for a lead tone as well if you wanted. Yeah, it's decent. So I've set the tube amp modeler to the Marshall sound. It's a bit noisy, but And I can complement it with the blues overdrive, which helps to tighten it up and give it even more gain. Let's put some delay on that too. So as you can hear, I'm using the vibrato for long held notes. And you can use it for bends and all sorts of stuff. So cool. Now, of course, chorus and delay always go well together. And of course, phaser and delay go really well together. If I wanted to go something a bit different, I could use the chorus with the drive sounds. So. If you turn the phaser right up, you can get that sort of voice in the fan sort of sound. And I'll pair that up with the overdrive. So I'm pretty happy with my Behringer board. I was able to get some sounds that I really enjoyed using. A good indication for me that I'm enjoying the sounds is that I write riffs or write new parts of songs. And most of the stuff that I played today, I made up on the spot while using these pedals. I was really having a good time. Out of these 6 pedals, there was only one that I was dissatisfied with, which was the phase shifter here. I don't think this is a patch on the PH2. I mean, I know it's a lot to live up to because I love this pedal so much, but mode 2 on this does absolutely nothing, and I wasn't a big fan of mode 1. But I suppose I probably had to expect this. If you watch my original video and I demoed their version of the Boss BF2 flanger, it was god-awful. I wouldn't say this is awful, I just don't think it's anywhere close to the PH2. So that was my Behringer pedalboard. Please tell me what you would do differently in the comments below. I use all my self-control not to include a Tube Screamer style pedal because I love Tube Screamer style pedals and they do a good version of that, but I didn't include it. But tell me what you would put on there. Tell me what Behringer pedals that you rate really highly. I'd love to know what you think. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Remember, you can support this channel by going to the Middle Aged Gear Junkie store and buying some merchandise. And you can also join the Middle Aged Gear Junkie Facebook page. Other than that, my name is Jason. Have a great day. See you later.